Ketler. I'm here at the Agora Theater with Mr. Burton C. Bell from Fear Factory. How's it going?
Going good. How are you doing?
Very well, very
Excellent.
well. First off, you guys just dropped the new album, Genexus.
Last week.
Killer. I see it getting praise everywhere. Have you inserted a lot of the new material into the live set?
We've been playing 2 new tracks. We're not headlining right now, so we have 50 minutes. So 2 new songs would be is quite quite enough. We're playing Soul Hacker and Dielectric.
Nice.
When we were in Europe before this tour, we were playing Soul Hacker and Protomech. But when we started headlining again, we start headlining August 23rd. We'll be playing Soul Hacker, Dielectric, and probably Regenerate.
Nice. I want to ask you, what made you guys decide to go with live drums this go around?
The last record we used a drum program, drum machine, and that was part of experimentation. It was also part of necessity because we were on a time constraint, and so we went with that. And we found that it kind of, and when you experiment, you learn about things, and we learned that even though it was efficient, it was still like it lacked a quality that we missed, and that was real. There's a human element about live drummers that a program will never be able to emulate yet. But so that was it. It offers more of a groovy feeling, just more of a
Well, let's talk about the record's concept then, because Genexus is a combination of 2 words, right? This was Dino that came up with this.
We both came up with it.
You both came up with it?
He found the word online, and then we both discussed the word.
Well, why don't you explain what it means?
We found the word online, and he presented it to me, and I looked it up, and there's no definition for it. And so we decided to create our own definition for it. And so what we came up with is that it's 2 words put together, Genesis and Nexus. Genesis meaning creation, Nexus meaning the next step of change.
Okay.
So, and it fit into what we were thinking about already. I was already thinking about the Ray Kurzweil theory of the singularity, where man and machine will become one by the year 2045. Because as we know, every year technology advances exponentially every year, and so which means that it gets more powerful and smaller.
Right.
Also, was toying with the character, not toying, but I was thinking of the character from Blade Runner, the Roy Batty character, the antagonist of the film, the blonde-haired dude played by Rutger Hauer. I was thinking about his character because he was a character searching for more life. He was a replicant, which means made to look human. So he was like a human machine, and they were so advanced AI that after 4 years they became sentient, and so which means that they were aware of their being and wanted to live more. And so that's why they created a 4-year lifespan. So when they became sentient, it's like, well, there you go. We don't need more of you running around causing problems. So this story is based with those 2 concepts. We realized that this is the story of the next step of humans' evolutionary pattern. And this is an evolutionary step created by man, not through nature. It's through nurture. So it's created by man, but it's an evolutionary process. And so it's the name of that generation will be the Genexus generation.
Nice. Okay. And this was sort of a continuation of the concept from the Industrialist, or
no? It's just, I wouldn't say it's a continuation. It's just a different story.
Okay.
But it's all Fear Factory concepts. Man versus the machine. The technology of the system. And I come from a anti-establishment background, punk rock,
yeah,
industrial noise kind of shit. So the anti-establishment concept has never left me. So when I say man versus machine, I'm talking about the government. I'm talking about the authority figures.
Okay.
You know, but the machine is also, the machine can also be a metaphor for also, androids. But this one moves it forward. It's like the human machine versus the machine itself, and the systematic machine. It's quite a full world we're creating here.
Sure. Now, the story behind your previous album, The Industrialist, you're turning that into a graphic novel.
I already have.
You already have. It's all sold out, right? You had
the collector's edition sold out,
okay.
But there's still copies left.
Okay.
I only made 500 up.
Okay.
And I only made 500, so it's a very limited edition. I'm not going to do a second pressing or anything like that. So it's specifically a fan,
sure.
A fan item. And I contracted an artist named Noel Gard to create the imagery. I contracted an artist. Noel Gard was out of England. I contracted an artist out of Pennsylvania named Rachel Shannon to do the color and layout.
Okay.
And it looks amazing. It came out pro, and they're printed up. We're just waiting. It's literally on a slow boat from China.
Really?
And we're just waiting once it arrives to my warehouse in LA that I'm going to have it shipped to. We're going to start shipping them out. But there's still copies left, but it's only available through BurtonCBell.com. Okay. And it tells the story of it's the story that I wrote in the Industrialist booklet.
Okay. Let's talk about Tony Campos for a moment. You guys added him on bass recently. What was the situation that brought him into the fold? Were you guys just in need, or? Well,
we did need a new bass player.
Yeah.
Matt DeVries, who was our bass player for a whole cycle, the whole Industrialist cycle, he made a life choice to get out of music for a while.
Yeah.
A very personal choice for him and his family.
Sure.
And we respected that, and still love Matt dearly. So when that happened after the record was done. So before we started touring, we was like, okay, we need another tour.
Right.
And Tony Campos just made himself available.
Okay.
And it was, we're very happy about that. Tony Campos is a great bass player. He fits perfectly, as a cog into this machine. And he's also a cool cat.
Yeah.
We've known him for years.
Yeah. Static X, Prong, and he's been around.
Ministry,
yeah.
Soulfly,
yeah.
Possessed.
He's been around. Is this could this turn into a permanent gig, or are you?
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
It's his choice.
Okay.
But on our part, we hope he stays.
Okay. Cool. So 2015, this marks the 20th anniversary of the Demanufacture record.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to celebrate it? I know you're going to go overseas, right?
That's right. We're going overseas start in November to the Demanufacture tour, and the fans are really looking forward to it out there. Nothing's been planned for it out here. Right now there doesn't seem many promoters are interested.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe next year.
Yeah.
It depends on.
You're going to be performing the album in its entirety when you're overseas.
Of course,
right? Yeah.
Start to finish.
Okay.
Wow. We'll probably be playing new tracks first, like Genexus, and then maybe another old track or something. But Demanufacture for the rest of it.
Nice. I read somewhere, Burton, that you were a photographer too.
Yeah, I went to art school for photography and creative writing.
Okay.
I still have a lot to learn, but I've been taking pictures ever since I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
With my own camera, and I still take photos.
What's your emphasis on? What's your shtick? What do you like to do?
I like landscape.
Landscape. Okay.
I'm not really into portraits.
Yeah.
I like landscapes, but not. I like certain type of landscapes. I love train tracks. It's
Okay.
hard to, but I have a couple series that I've done. when I go out to do something, I do a series. And the first series I did quite a few years ago was I call it the Descanso series. And what it is a series of I traveled from LA to Santa Fe, stopping at every roadside cross where someone died.
Oh, geez.
On the side,
Okay.
you know, when you're driving on the road, you see a roadside cross.
Yeah.
That's called Descanso in
Okay.
the Southwest.
Okay.
And when I started seeing these on the road, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna start taking pictures of them. So I got in my truck and started driving. And every time I saw one, I stopped and take a few pictures, and did it all the way to Santa Fe and back.
Wow.
And it's all, you know, black and white color, you know, very cinematic. You know, the desert landscape with the cross and all that. Different, and you know, find different stories about them.
Huh.
And then another one is a full color one, inspired by Paul Ito. But they're photographs taken at night in the fog.
Oh, nice.
You know, extended exposure.
Yeah.
And you know, this full color, just like the way the lights in the fog just kind of, it's like this incandescence, just like glow about everything. It just looks looks pretty spooky.
That's awesome. Are you a Canon guy or a Nikon guy?
I have a Canon A1 from 1982.
Nice. Okay.
I still use film.
Oh, nice.
And
From the old school, yeah.
Nikon's a great camera, but I love Canon. You know.
Yeah.
Canon, you know, tried and true.
I'm a Nikon guy, so we'll
Nikons
leave
are
it at
good.
that. Yeah.
I also have a Nikon as well.
Do you?
And it's a good camera. It's a really good camera.
I think it just comes down to
Chevy and Ford.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. You're exactly right. I recently saw a photo of you, and this was a combination that blew my mind. Okay, with George Lynch.
Yeah.
Can you enlighten us about what's going on there? Or
He invited me to participate on a new project he's working on.
for real?
It doesn't have a name yet,
Okay.
but he's kind of like a, I don't know, it's very almost an industrial rock sounding.
Really?
And
Okay.
the other song I heard was by Tommy Victor's on it.
Okay.
He did a song. But there's a bunch of other artists, like female artists on it, that
Okay.
they're working on. I picked this song, and I started. You know, last time I was in LA, I just started working with him.
Yeah.
He was in the studio. His engineer, Stuart Carraras, was in the studio, and we're working out of I can't remember the name of it, but it's owned by Ben Miller from Godhead.
Okay.
Ben? No, not Ben. Oh my God, Jason Miller.
Okay.
From Godhead. So he owns the studio, and he just does all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
And it's a great studio.
I would have never thought, because I kind of have like a 80s metal background, sort of, in a way. Like that was my thing for a while, and I never would have thought I would have saw you two together in the same room doing recording stuff.
Neither did I, but
yeah,
you
it's
know,
awesome.
But you know, I like to expand my horizons, and man, I was a fan of early Dawkins.
Yeah.
It's when I was in young kid in high school.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff, and so it was an honor to get to work with him. He's a really cool guy.
He's a killer player too.
Great player.
Yeah.
Sick.
Uh-huh. So you've kind of already alluded to this, but let's talk about what's going on for the rest of the year for Fear Factory. Mostly going to be on the road.
Mostly on the road. And like I said, this Cold Chamber tour ends August 22nd. Our headlining tour starts August 23rd. Devil You Know will be on. So a band called Once Human, which is Logan Mader's new band. Another band called Bloodline, which has Sean Glass from Soil, Broken Hope, and Travis, who was in Divine Heresy.
Okay.
They're
Dino,
gonna,
right?
Yeah, they're going to be opening up. So that will go through September 16th. Right after that tour, after this tour is done, I personally fly to Rio de Janeiro to perform with Ministry at Rock in Rio, just for one night.
That'd be awesome.
And then I fly back, and I would have like a month off.
Yeah.
And then fly back to LA, and then we got some shows in Japan. We got a couple shows in Japan in October. Got a show in LA in October, and then we fly to Europe for November and December. After that, there's nothing confirmed, but we plan on touring 2016.
Okay.
Definitely-
We're
definitely
really
the States.
hoping for the demanufactured
Yeah.
stuff here in the States, hopefully.
We get the promoters
So,
on board, you know,
do what we can. We'll do what we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So.
because I mean, of all the records the fans want to hear, it's that one.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
No, it's true. I'm not ashamed to say that. You know, it's great. You know,
Awesome. That's what I got for you, Burton.
Geoff, man, pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. It was an honor.
My pleasure.
So, and can't wait for the show.
Thank you. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
All right. And go pick out Genexus now.
Alan, let me say one thing.
Sure.
Please support your favorite artists, because if you do not support your favorite artists, there's no way your favorite artist will be able to come out and see you.
Exactly.